Welcome, chess fans. Today, we're diving into an epic showdown from the 2024 Tata Steel Rapid and Blitz in India, where Magnus Carlsen faced off against Praggnanandhaa. This game had all the drama, tension, and subtle shade you'd expect when two chess titans sit down, only to realize they both might be a bit rusty. So, let's jump right in. Magnus kicked things off with pawn to c4, the English opening, or what Hikaru calls the reverse Sicilian. Pragg nodded and countered with his knight to f6, which in chess terms roughly translates to, "Alright, I'll play along." By move 4, it looked like both players were content throwing out light jabs. Magnus slid his bishop to g2, while Pragg kicked out his own pawns. Imagine two boxers circling each other, mentally debating who'll break the patience game first. Spoiler alert, it was Magnus. When Magnus castled on move 9, he seemed ready to settle in for a slow, strategic game. But Pragg wasn't having any of that. He dropped his knight onto c6 and gave Magnus a look that said, "This isn't going to be your stroll through Catalan theory." Magnus may have hoped for quiet play, but Pragg had other plans to make things complicated. Move 12 arrived, and the pieces on the board eyed each other like, "So, are we really doing this?" Pragg slid his rook to b6, practically inviting Magnus to hop on board for a ride. Magnus accepted and started marching his rooks forward, likely thinking, "Alright Pragg, let's see what you've got." Pragg then brought his bishop to g4, subtly implying, "Magnus, I'm coming for that knight on f3. Magnus nudged his h-pawn up to h3, answering, "Not today, buddy." Little did Pragg know, Magnus had been watching a few Gotham chess videos and wasn't about to hand out any freebies today. At move 24, Magnus pulled his knight back to f3, and somewhere in the digital void, Stockfish let out a mechanical groan. Pragg fired back with knight to c5, making it clear this was now a battle of inches. But Magnus seemed more interested in keeping an eye on the clock than in maximizing his position. Then came move 32, where Magnus boldly pushed his king to e1. Stockfish threw his circuit boards in the air. King e1 was, well, let's say suboptimal. Somewhere in the streaming universe, Hikaru was probably face-palming, muttering, "Come on, man." Even XQC would have seen knight e5. But hey, we all make mistakes, right? Pragg, maybe feeling a bit generous, responded with rook to a7. The fans held their breath. Was this a missed win? Maybe. But nothing says chess blunder showdown like two top players both missing a win in the same endgame. At this point, they were probably each hoping the other would make a slip that just never came. And here's the twist. In the final position, Pragg was actually winning, sitting at a brutal evaluation of -2.6. In other words, Magnus was practically waving a white flag, and yet Pragg accepted the draw. Did the GOAT just trick the young prodigy into a handshake? It looks like Magnus played his own clock game, making the position look just safe enough to tempt Pragg into agreeing to the draw. Classic Magnus, somehow coming out even while losing. And so, the game ended with a handshake and maybe a bit of relief on both sides. They'd navigated traps, tension, and enough evaluation bar dips to make us all wonder, is anyone really winning here? So there you have it. Magnus and Pragg gave us a thrilling draw, with all the highs, lows, and mind games you could ask for in a single sitting. If you enjoyed watching two legends go head-to-head and want more recaps with, let's just say, a bit of extra flavor, hit that subscribe button and join us for the next round of Grandmaster battles.